From sports to current events to the culture, we talk, agree, disagree, and agree again. Maybe. Confused? Find your outlet, the podcast.
And once again, it's all good, people. Another episode of the ATL Outlet, little ATL therapy for your soul. PB and AT back with you again. It's been a minute. No, we keep saying that. We're going to get more consistent. Promise you on that. Big things going on all around the world, for that matter. But happy to be back on for another podcast, and hope you enjoy it. As always, we want to start with something good. So, PB, what's good?
What's good, man? Spent Labor Day in Destin, man, with some folks. Good times, man. We were responsible about it. So everybody drove in. Everybody went to COVID tests prior to the trip. Everybody came in with negative test results. So felt pretty good about that. Didn't catch a flight. Just felt pretty responsible about it, man. And then just posted up, man. We got a crib down there, a whole bunch of folks, man, and introduced, took our own Destin version of Versus. So shout out to that game of put a whole bunch of artists in a hat and draw names, and if you draw that name, you that artist, and did our own little Versus. It was kind of fire.
I like it. And
also got to play at Regatta, golf course called Regatta Bay down in Destin, man. It was tight, just amazing course. I sucked, but I lost 1,000 golf balls out there, man. But got my driver back, and that's working for me. So I'm coming for y'all boys with that driver now, man. I ain't afraid of it no more. But that was a good time. Also last week, man, shout out to my pops, man, for the last, I don't know if I shared this on ATL Outlet, but for the last, guess what now, AT? 8.5 months, I've been restoring a 1967 truck for my pops. He had it for my whole life, and it looked like the Sanford & Son truck, though, man. It was crappy, just sat in the driveway pretty much, man, and collected dust or branches or whatever. And as a special gift for him, man, he turned 72 last week. I spent the last 8.5 months, man, working with my guy to restore it. And we unveiled it last week. AT was there, the fam was there, man. It was really a magical moment, man. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen him that happy, man. And so that was good, man. It was really good for the soul. That was some therapy for your boy.
Yes, sir.
Also taught me I ain't got patience to do no shit like that again. Yeah. Like, I was glad it was over with, so. Oh, but of course, you saw the drama behind it for the audience, man. My man bringing it back from Louisiana, supposed to be the big unveiling, let Pops jump in and drive it. On the way over, first gear goes out. Come on. Transmission don't work, man. We spent an hour and a half trying to get it to the house. But, we're going to get it fixed, man, and we'll be on our way. But it still worked out as good as it could, I guess, as well as it could. So. Shout out to Pops, man. Happy 72nd birthday, bro.
For sure. Shout out to Pops, man. I forgot to mention, man, we're coming to you first off of Labor Day. So a lot of vacation, a lot of activity going on over Labor Day. For me, didn't do too much, man. Just kind of enjoy the time off. Got a little golf in, man, and, just hanging with the fam, not really doing too much. Weather was beautiful over the weekend, and able to sit and watch, NBA games and baseball games. So we had a lot going on, man. So that's always good, man. No tragedies around. Everybody's healthy. So we're going to keep it rolling. Hey,
and I got a pick from you, my man. Birdie on number 9.
Yeah. Got a couple of birdies over the weekend, man. Golf game getting strong. Chip game stupid. Shirts coming soon. But
Definitely that. Got to.
Yeah,
Got to.
we're just kicking it. We're just kicking it, man. That's it. That's it. I want to jump right into the gumbo, man, because we're gonna make this thing short and sweet. You know how we do with the gumbo. We just throw everything into the pot, stir it up, see how it tastes. Right now, we got the NBA playoffs going strong. Both conferences are headed toward conference finals. You got the Heat already qualified for the Eastern Conference Finals. As a matter of fact, you got Toronto and Boston playing right now. Boston's up 3-2, trying to face the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. And over in the West, it looks like the Clippers and the Lakers are on a collision course. Clippers are up over Denver right now. Lakers are up over Houston after a good game from the King, LeBron, last night. PB, your thoughts on the NBA playoffs at this point?
Man, again, I think it's been a few weeks, so I don't even know if we had a therapy session prior to, or I guess since the boycott.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a moment to just speak on that, man. Like, again, I think over the years and given the latest challenges that we faced as a country, and just hearing different perspectives, man. I think, shout out to the ability to come and have already in your mind framed kind of your thoughts around the topic, but to be able to come to a dialogue, remain open enough to hearing other perspectives and points of view, and even more so allowing those different points of view to potentially alter how you were thinking about it before. Mm-hmm. I think that is a challenging thing to do as humans. But those that can, and when we allow ourselves to do it, I think it's pretty powerful. So I say all that to say, I've gained a new appreciation for awareness. In the past, I was pretty critical on where I think there were acts of awareness, but there wasn't much action associated with it. Now, I still think that action is critically important, but I do find more value in awareness than I did before. So shout out to the NBA players, the Milwaukee Bucks, for taking that first step and just really pushing the envelope on awareness. Now, we could probably sit here and debate, which we probably will, about days later. They were like, okay, well, we're going to go back and work and play. Now, again, without all the details of what they felt like they accomplished with that, or if there was actions tied to it, but I do think just shout out to them because look, it hadn't been done, right? It did take a lot to go and do what they did. But I am very interested to see what actions, what impact that ultimately is going to have. I felt like they probably could have at least stayed out a little bit longer. I mean, like 2 days was made me scratch my head. But again, shout out to those dudes and to the WNBA. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to others that did kind of, use that as empowerment. And that was another thing that I think I really took away from that scenario, was how one person's actions can start to empower others to do what maybe they felt like they wanted to do, but weren't moved or motivated or felt the courage or whatever the case may be to do it. And so it was amazing for me to see how, any individual can go and spark a movement, because once you get that domino to start falling, right, a lot of others will come, because, what the Bucks did, then all the NBA did, then the WNBA, then, all these other sports, hockey players were speaking out, the NASCAR started, all of that stuff started as a result of that one decision. And I think there's power in that. You and I always discuss how I think there's just, so much more power in numbers. But that's my thoughts on all of that for now. I will say I'm more of a playoff dude myself, so my interest in the NBA has picked up. It's been some solid action, man. I know at first I told you I was a little skeptical about how this thing was going to be, no fans and all that, but I will tell you, I think the NBA, shout out to them, salute to them. I think they've done a great job of putting it together. And now that, these games are really counting in my book, yeah, I'm glued in. I was just watching the Celtics in Toronto. And, I'm really interested to see how this Eastern Conference Finals turns out with the Heat. um, and what ultimately transpires with the rest of the season. So shout out to that. What you think, bro?
Man, so first of all, I know you started off on a serious note, and I'm gonna touch that topic. But those out there listening, we also, check us out on our YouTube channel, man. We upload these episodes weekly, or whenever we do it, on YouTube. And so you can see us as we're on this on this virtual outlet. But PB's background kind of tricky, man. It looked like a bad Michael Jackson video right now. So you see it this week, man. Like, feel free to comment, clown him, man. It just like a bad Thriller video back there. But yeah, that's crazy. But touching on the on the walkout, I don't know necessarily I want to call it a boycott, but I'm calling it a walkout where the players refuse to play. It did spread, and I think your point is very valid about the influence that has not only on other athletes, but also on the population as a whole. I think the community who already looks at many of these players as role models or as however they look at them, tend to follow their lead, and it is always good when that lead is in a positive direction. As we've talked about it before, though, I am a big action guy, and so I was interested in finding out, what action steps were the players looking for and what goals were accomplished. Because if, the issue in and of itself was dealing with the whole Jacob Blake situation in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and how that was handled, then let's find out the root cause of those issues and how do we make those changes. Because, as of right now, same people are in charge, the same police policies and tactics and instruction manuals are all the same as far as I know, unless something has changed between, that date and now. So the goal is to have some sort of reform done. And has the legislature met? Has that been discussed? Is that one of the goals? So I'm really tuned in to see how that works out as a result of the walkout. But as you say all the time, PB, like, I hesitate to call it a boycott because, you get into matters of social justice and things of that nature and protests and boycotts and all that. We always talk about that one word, which is sacrifice. And what are you sacrificing? So here we're talking about, the players walked off, but then when the conversations began between the players and there's an idea that there could be some money lost, or there could be some situations that are lost here, how much of that weigh on the decision to come back and play? And I just think, I'm not saying anybody's right. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I'm saying that you start thinking about that when people are making these stances on things as far as awareness versus effectiveness. Like, what are you giving up? What are you sacrificing in order to get this accomplished? So let's just keep an eye on that, man. See how it goes. No need to really go too deep into it because it's out there. We see it. We see it every day. So we're going to find out how the people of Wisconsin and the country as a whole responds. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
And so regarding the playoffs itself, man, like I kudos to the NBA, man. Like they have made this thing must-see TV, even with virtual crowds, playing in the bubble. They piping the crowd noise in. Kudos to all of the analysts who are making it seem like it's just normal basketball, and kudos to the players, man, for playing hard. And I was thinking about this the other day, man. Like, so after the first round of the playoffs, they began to let family members come to the bubble, right? And I really, it harkens back to you playing like in an adult league game or a pickup league game and your girl sit in the stands, right? Like you don't want your girl to see you look bad. So I think these guys have really stepped up, not only because it's the playoffs, but now they're people watching. You know what I'm saying? Like their families in the stands, and I just love the competitiveness, man. And I appreciate the NBA for the platform and for entertaining us, and during the pandemic. So, like you said, shout out to them boys, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, coming back to the whole walkout or that whole situation. Just another plug, man. If you haven't signed up to vote or if you haven't made plans to vote, let's just reclaim it, man. Like this is going to be another big election, and And, just don't want to let that moment pass where, if you haven't voted in the past, it doesn't hurt to start now. It's never too late to do the right thing, man. And if you're on the fence about voting, I just encourage you to do it. You know what I'm saying? This is a huge opportunity. And in this case, man, in my adult life, I don't think there's been a more polarizing election. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, whatever the case may be, I don't think that the sides have been so polar opposites in my adult life. And because of that reason, I think it's even more critical for us to get out and vote. So shout out, man, to voting. And I hope everybody takes it, seriously and makes the arrangements to make that happen, man.
Yep, no doubt. Let's move on, man. We got the NFL starting up this week. As a matter of fact, tomorrow is the first game of the season. I don't know about you, PB, but I'm excited for the NFL.
Shout out Cam Newton. Let's go.
I knew that was going to be the first thing. And I want to make sure I go on record as saying this because I've been hearing, PB had the slick talk when we're not on the outlet. But yes, I did say at the time, Cam is not a top 15 quarterback, right? I do think he has an opportunity to get back into top 15, top 10, whatever the case may be. But right now, period, point blank, he's got to earn his way back in. I'm excited for him. News came out that he's actually the starter and the captain on the team. I'm excited for that. That's must-see TV, Cam. I'm going to watch every game you play if it's on the national network because I don't have NFL TV. But I might get it. But anyway, I'm going to check you out, man. And I wish you nothing but the best, man, except for when you're playing the Falcons. And I just hope that everything works out for him, man. I'm excited for him. On the other hand, I'm kind of sick, man, that that the Bucs are loading up in the NFC South. It seems like they got everybody that has been good in the last 4 or 5 years and say, you know what, we're going to make one good run at it with TB12 at QB. We already got the Saints in the division who are Super Bowl favorites. I'm getting a little nervous here in Atlanta. But the season's starting up, man. What you got to say?
Hey, man, again, shout out to that boy Cam. AT also tried to say that Cam could work his way back into a starting role. My argument was that he should be a starter from the gate. And said it's going to take him 4 weeks.
I thought so. I did. But he worked his way in. He didn't come in as a starter.
Okay. Hey, man, Cam, shout out to you, my boy. Listen, go do your thing. I hope, bro, I hope the Pats win the Super Bowl, man. Like, that's how.
Don't do that. I hope they lose to the Falcons in a rematch.
Whatever, bro.
But I want you to throw for 400. I hope you lose in the rematch.
Team Cam Newton all day, man. Just, I really am motivated, inspired by, you put the whole hair and dress and stuff to the side. But, that man was kind of down, bro. You know what I'm saying? He got injured.
Right.
Team that, he thought was going to be a team that he retired from. Right. We got another dude who, in my opinion, they are going to look back and wish they hadn't made that decision.
Teddy B?
Yes, all day. No, no disrespect to him, but he's not
complete disrespect to him the way you just said that.
It's not this. I mean, he's good, but he's not Cam Newton. And if that's disrespectful, then okay. But he's not Cam Newton. And
Teddy Bridgewater.
They should have stood by Cam, let that man recover, really get back to 100%, and at least gave him a shot before. You know how I am about loyalty, man. And gave that man a shot before they went and got rid of him. Anyway, I hope somehow the Patriots play the Panthers and this dude throws for 1,000 yards on the Panthers, man. Like, there's no mercy on these boys. But I'm so excited to see that boy Cam play, man. There have been a lot of moves, right? There have been a lot of moves and a lot of dudes getting their money. So, look, Jalen Ramsey, let's see if he really worth the $21 million every year. But shout out him for getting his bread. Get your bag, bro. What's your boy, DeAndre Hopkins, and got his bag. Time for him, you know what I'm saying? And the comments that he done made about how things were done over in Houston, trying to play. That boy, Deshaun, that went and got his bag. This dude making sick bread too. Time to make some things happen. I mean, and I can keep going down the list. Like you said, Tampa Bay. I mean, bro, that's a dangerous team right now,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
If
they are.
Fournette comes back, healthy and ready to play, if they have a decent line, you got Grump, you got Mike Evans. I mean, the offense
But
is
listen,
loaded, bro.
I know I started going in that direction, but that's all on paper. You got to get between them lines, and for the most part, you can't rely on those capacity crowds, because at most stadiums is going to be empty or limited capacity. And the Broncos saw the other day, man. You one injury away.
You
You
one
know,
injury away, bro.
one injury away, and something that seemed good to start, not so good moving forward. So I just can't wait to see it play out, man. I'm excited for another football. Just think about this, man. Right here in the month of September, you're gonna be embarking on the baseball playoffs, NBA finals. You got the NFL. You got some level of college football going on. Many of the big golf events going on. This is something that we won't ever see again. Like, once things go back to normal, everybody go back to their own seasons, you won't see this kind of overlap. Like, I might need to get like 3-4 TVs, like, for real.
See that boy, your homeboy real got him.
Yeah, I need to get 3-4 TVs. Anybody got them for the low? I need to I need to get that done.
Oh man, it's gonna be special. Speaking of, give me your thoughts on this, bro. Like, I don't know if you picked. I'm sure you did peep a couple of college games this weekend. It made it challenging for me to understand, like, how could some of them play, and now so many others aren't gonna play. I mean, there were literally a bunch of games over the last couple of days, bro.
Oh yeah.
And so, what's your thoughts? Like,
well,
there is no governing body that says you can play, you can't play. We all in this, or we all not in this.
I just don't understand, man. I think that this just shows that the downfall of the NCAA as an organization is on the way. Like, it was no leadership, no cohesive leadership from the NCAA in regulating the matter of whether or not these schools play. And they just basically took a step back and said, y'all handle it the way you want to handle it. So it shows that the conference commissioners have more power than the NCAA. But when I talk about, who's playing and who's not playing, the big question I've been having is, okay, all of these commissioners are operating under the advice and the guidance of government officials, CDC, medical doctors. And for once, I just want to see everybody's, like, can we put everybody's evidence on the table? Like Pac-10, Pac-12, Big Ten, like, what are your doctors saying? SEC, ACC, what are your doctors saying? What is the difference in those things? Like, why do they feel like they can play if the information is the same? That's if the information is the same. If the information isn't the same, why is that not? There's so many questions. Like, why is that not being published? Why is it not being followed? Because a lot of these schools are playing like, man, shoot, we are doing all the protocols. We cool. And other conferences are just terrified to play. And it just, now that I'm talking about it, I say it doesn't make sense. But it's also a microcosm of how the country has handled the COVID crisis, right?
States.
Federal government has basically said, you know what? States, you handle it how you want to handle it. So some states have been open like a smoker, Gina, open like a smoker. Other states have been locked down since March. Like, I think I spoke to a family the other day that said, like, Connecticut was just now opening bars and stuff. Like, Georgia been booming since 4th of July, I feel like.
I saw some clips from I guess it was like Wednesdays in Atlanta last week.
Oh man.
Why?
Let me tell you something.
Why?
Atlanta ain't playing, man. I ain't playing.
Like that thing, like coronavirus never even existed, bro.
So it's just crazy, man. Like, I'm gonna enjoy the football that they play. And I want to also say this. I think that these athletic programs, they take a lot of heat for not paying players, right? So, I'm in favor of players having some level of pay now that there's so much money in the business. But let's not underestimate the amount of care that they're getting currently, as far as health care, as far as protections to make sure that they're as healthy as possible. I know both of us were athletes, Paul, and I don't ever remember having an issue getting a doctor's appointment or MRI scheduled. I mean, if there was an injury on Saturday, best believe by Monday you have an MRI. If I go schedule an MRI right now, it might be 2 weeks before I get in. And you can point to several reasons why that is, and a lot of it could be money. It could be people saying that they're taking advantage of the players. But at the end of the day, I feel like you asked me this on the last podcast. If I had a student, I would 100% trust that the university would take care of my student athlete as best they can. And more than just a normal college student. So I'm thankful for the schools that are putting these protocols in place. I'm still thankful for the schools who decided not to play. I mean, you got to operate the whatever you feel is in the student's best interest. Luckily, you get to enjoy some football.
Here's what I do think is going to happen. I think that if things continue to move forward, I think that the few conferences that said, hey, we're going to wait, we're going to postpone, just didn't want to be the first ones out there. They were like, look, man, y'all want to walk through that door and get shot up? Go on and do that. Let me sit back, watch you walk through and get shot up. Now, if you get through and you come out on the other side, bet. You know what I mean? But I want to see this play through because I don't want to sacrifice my players to be the first ones. Yeah. So I think what you're going to see is that the Pac-12 and Big Ten probably move up their schedules. I think they'll start to play earlier but I think they're going to give like all of September has to get through. Right. Because did you see, I think that was the first college football player or high school football player that passed away today, I think it was.
I think it was a college player, but the headline was a little bit misleading, and that's another thing with that media. Because apparently it was a small college player, and the headline was that college player succumbs to COVID-19 symptoms. It's true he was a college player, but the actual season had already been canceled. Like the conference season was already canceled, so there was no games nothing going on.
Playing. Did he die from COVID, one, and then two, did he get it while he was?
And that's it. The report says that he died from COVID, but it's a fact that the season and the conference had canceled all of the seasons and there were no games. So
it wasn't during through.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Actual game. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't an actual game because they didn't play games this season. They canceled the season.
Gotcha. But the fact that he was a player and he died, it was a college player. Gotcha.
Yeah, and so that can be kind of misleading, but a death is a death. I mean, we send condolences to that man's family. Don't want anybody to die. I know we all have to die, but especially during this time under COVID-19. But you always just got to be careful when you're looking at those headlines.
Right. But the point is, I think that's what the Pac-12 and Big Ten.
That's the fear.
Kind of just sitting on the sidelines.
Right.
And now if it goes well, I think they'll move up because, there's been some talk now that, Big Ten is considering starting in November or December now or something like that. So I think you'll see if it continues to move in that direction.
Right. There was one proposal, I don't know how likely it is, for the Big Ten to start in October and be able to play enough games to qualify for the national championship. But that would I don't think that's very likely, especially if those schools aren't practicing right now.
So then what is going to happen with that? I mean, if the the Big Ten and the Pac-12 don't play, will they just still create a national college playoff without those teams?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the college football rankings, they came out just like they do every year. They just don't have any Big Ten or Pac-12.
They did. The top 25 had Pac-12 and
not the
Big
latest
10.
one.
Oh, not the latest one. I got you.
So, I mean, we'll see, man. It's interesting. I'm gonna watch whoever plays, man. Sun Belt, I'll watch it. Let's do it. See what you got.
I mean, that'd be crazy though. They got a college football playoff without Ohio State.
I mean, it's 2020, man. What else you expect?
You're right.
Just when you think it can't get more worse or worser. Boom. 2020 say, hold my beer. Watch this.
It does. But you're right, man. I mean, I think it's all coming at a time, hopefully these numbers continue to drop, man, and I don't know. It's almost like everyone's getting so comfortable with it. Now this becomes a new comfort. You know what I mean? Now you almost don't even expect things to kind of go back. You know what I mean? Like wearing a mask is just what you do now. You know what I mean? And it's like, sucks, bro. Sucks. Like,
you think about it, man. We no telling how much longer we're gonna be wearing a mask. You got vaccines coming out. 2/3 of the population says they're not gonna take the vaccine. You got one vaccine company that can't get through the third trial because they don't have enough people of color to participate in the trials. Right. So we already know that it's not going anywhere. So if we're not gonna take the vaccine, the virus isn't going anywhere.
Then what does that leave? Masked up.
We're gonna be masked up for the next 2 years, 3 years.
Yep.
That's crazy, bro. That would be weird. It's already weird, but
as if it isn't already.
Yeah, I just will that be the new normal? Like, wow, that would be crazy.
Masked up all the time, bro.
All the time.
All the time. To change gears just for a second, man, because I haven't been. I'm just curious if you've been keeping up on it more than I have. What about these California wildfires, though, bro?
Man, I only keep up with it as far as morning news, everything. As I'm getting up and I'm walking around, and man, the pictures, man, are just so crazy. Like, I don't know who used to tell me this. Somebody in my family's always like, man, fire and water are like two of the most powerful things that you will ever see. Like the damage that water can do, the damage that fire can do, it's unbelievable. And watching some of these pictures, man, I just pray for rain, man.
Bro, I be like that thing. Be like, I'll never move to Cali, man. Like
it make you feel that way, right?
For real, because the one stat I saw was, I guess it was the geography that was facing wildfire right now at this time of year compared to all previous years, and I don't know. I think it was something like almost double, like in terms of miles.
Right.
And it was just like, what?
Yeah.
Literally, people taking videos and like, we don't know if we're gonna make it out of here.
Yeah. Or you just watch your house, just like you see the fire coming up the street, like, well, that's it. And they talk about these firefighters, man, who putting in, 72-hour shifts, man, and shoot, shout out to those guys and girls for fighting, man. But that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And you move from that to we got two more. I guess they're tropical storms now in the Atlantic, and it's like this is the earliest that we've had this many named storms.
At this point
of the year.
For real?
It's crazy. Yeah. Like, because you got to think about it. Like, we hear about most of the named storms that are in the Atlantic, right? They come through Gulf of Mexico, things of that nature. But there are also some in the Pacific that are named that we don't know. It's just 2020, man. Just hold my beer. That's the year, man. It's just hold my beer. What year is it? Hold my beer.
Man, I'm telling you. Hey, man, shout out to Serena for making it to another U.S. Open semifinals.
Best athlete ever.
Man, she's off the chain. I actually watched a lot of her match today, man, and I think somebody said it best. It was like, even when she struggles, like, she still wins, right? If she's not playing her best tennis, she still finds a way to dig deep, man, and get it done. What I also didn't know was, man, just making it to the quarterfinals in the U.S. Open, they made $425,000 just to make it to the quarterfinals. I was like, $4.25?
Hey, shoot. Who's at the U.S. Open winner? $15 million. Hey,
it was legit, bro. Shout out to, because she was matched up against another female who was recently a mom back in 2018, March of 2018. Or March 2019, I forget. But three of the four that were in the quarterfinals bracket that she was in were recent moms. And it was just, the testimony of, having gone through what they've gone through, have very, very, very young kids and have worked themselves back to being at the, very top of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to them, moms that are athletes, athletes that are moms, and really working to get themselves back to it, man. To see Serena back on top, man, is just amazing. But, it's something else, bro.
Most decorated athlete ever, man.
Man, shout out to Naomi out here wearing a mask. She masked up. You saw that. I think it was Ahmaud Arbery and
Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, parents or families, sent video in thanking her for what she's doing. And again, to see somebody so young, man, to taking that type of stance, man, it's just again very motivating and inspiring. So shout out to them.
Yeah, man. Well, a lot to discuss, man, but we do need to pause for the cause. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with some yes or no, sir. It's the outlet. And we're back to another episode of the ATL Outlet, little ATL therapy for your soul. ATPB in the building. C still on IR. Be back soon. Now's that time. Yes, sir. No, sir. You know how it goes. We bring up a topic. We answer yes, sir, in the affirmative, or no, sir, otherwise. First deal. Yes, sir. No, sir. So here's a scenario. All right. You have no restrictions on your hair. No restrictions on your hair, whether it be job related, the ability to grow hair, whatever the case may be. Dreads over cornrows. Yes, sir. No, sir.
No, sir. I'm a cornrow dude. Just had him this past weekend, man, just for the weekend. But gotta get back to corporate America, so about that.
No restrictions. No restrictions.
Oh, no restrictions. Oh, I mean, I'm still going cornrows all day. Yeah. No, sir. Cornrows all day for me, bro.
Hey, bro. I'm gonna be a dreadhead. I want to flip my head back, man. Especially you playing football and put that helmet on, flip your head back. Gotta have a good dread on your team, man. Gotta have a good dread on your team.
No, I'm going cornrows, bro.
All right, so you are what I say, dread. So no, sir. I'm yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take that.
Of course.
All right, next one. Yes, sir. No, sir. As you can see, I'm rocking my, ATL Falcon brim. Real simple. Fitted caps over non-fitted caps, whether that be snapback, visor, whatever you wear. Fitted caps over non-fitted caps. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Got to go to fitted. I agree with that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One final yes, sir, no, sir for me. If you're aware, we had a huge versus battle since the last time we got together. Brandy versus Monica. Brandy over Monica. Yes, sir. No, sir. PB, what you got?
If I go off of that particular versus, I'm going to go with Monica. No, sir. That particular versus.
All I got there is just one of them days. No, sir. Going with Monica.
I'm going to go with Monica off of that versus, bro.
Yeah, I got a lot of people going to be mad at me about that. But
yeah. Now, look, honestly, it could have gone the other way. Look, Brandy's super talented. I think she actually has a deeper catalog. But I thought she, was probably spending a little bit of that trying to pump up new music. And I'm gonna need you to come out with them bangers.
I don't want to hear nothing about your catalog, okay? This is a versus. Show me what you got. I want to hear about your catalog. You lost.
Just saying, she did. I'm going with Monica on that too.
All right, we're going Turn up.
Let it breathe.
Or let it breathe. All right, what's got?
Speaking of verses, that was gonna be my next one.
Okay.
You seen this Sunday, 8 p.m. That girl, Gladys. Hey, you know that Gladys Knight versus that Patti LaBelle on verses, bro. Turn up or let it breathe.
Man, I gotta let that breathe, man. NBA playoffs be honest. I'm sorry.
Hey, that boy, Zay One, that boy music ain't his therapy, dog.
Yeah,
That's all
music not my therapy. Shout out to that boy Zay Weezy. No disrespect, as you always like to say, no disrespect to Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. But I'm gonna let it breathe. I might have it playing in the background. I'm not gonna be locked in like I've been on these former verses. What about you?
Man, I'm turn it up, bro.
Turn it up.
I can't
you
wait.
Old soul.
Man, the only thing I know better than this ATL outlet is my music.
Don't you know no good?
I'm gonna be tuned in, man. Turn up. I can't wait for it, bro.
All right, man. Final one. Last one. So I be seeing a lot of commercials, a lot of movies where people will, whatever they're drinking, will light people's drinks on fire before they drink it. Somebody lights your drink on fire. You turn up or you let it breathe.
Hey, man. Listen here. Like, whatever family member you said the fire and water. I ain't messing with no fire in my drink. But,
I be watching that stuff like, man, you crazy.
You talking about let it breathe. I'm going to breathe all right till I blow out this fire off my drink. I'm straight on that, cuz. I'm straight, you dig? Nah.
Man, we going to let that breathe, man, and we going to let you breathe. It's another episode of the ATL Outlet. Till next time, ATPB, C to be back soon. We'll holler.
Come on, C. Come on back, man. We'll holler at y'all.
From sports to current events to the culture, we talk, agree, disagree, and agree again. Maybe. Confused? Find your outlet, the podcast.